we have another update this evening as well from Commissioner Steve Foster, one of our former aldermen, who is on the Vermilion Regional Airport Authority. He is going to give us a brief update on some of the things that have been happening out at the airport this evening. Mr. Foster, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and my friends at the council. It's kind of good to be back, just seeing you. I moved my camera back so you don't have to get such a big view of me. You know, I'm not pretty like the girls, but
nice Tiffany lamp.
Yeah. But what I thought I'd do is, because it's never been done before, is every quarter the mayor has always asked me, when I was previously a commissioner, and I was also chairman about 3 or 4 years ago of the airport commission, I would give a quarterly report just like the very fine one from the library. I thought that was very good. And if you recall, Vermilion Advantage comes in quarterly. So that way, as long as they're not all on the same night, I think we can put up with this 4 times a year. I hope you can be. I hope I live in here to report. But I thought this time, the other ones will be even shorter. This is not going to be that long. But I want to give you a little bit of a history. In Illinois, in 1943, the state finally decided it would be good to support and encourage municipal airports. So they passed a bill in 1943, and basically the bill authorized 3 or 4 different kinds of airports. One can be city-owned, one can be county-owned, one can be city and county-owned, and they could sometimes, there's kind of a class which they call municipal, but there's kind of vague. And then, but the fourth one, and the type we have here, are called airport commissions. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but you probably know, at least in the city, it's somewhat true on commissions. A commission has oversight of a city or county or both. In the case of our commission, the mayor appoints 3 members of the 5, the county appoints 2 members of the 5. And so we have an interest in what goes on at the airport, because he appoints me and 2 others, and likewise with the county. But the thing is, their commissions are totally separate and different from committees. A commission, for the most part, can be overridden by their fostering, the county or the city, like we do on zoning. Same way on the Historic Preservation Commission. But commissions also that levy their own tax have certain special rules. So we found out in 1946 they changed the rules. We went by the 43 rules, as a lot of people did, but in 46 they said an alderman cannot even serve on the commission. No one ever has explained to anybody why not, because they had exceptions depending on last minute change in the bill. For an example, you can be on a school board and still serve, although they also levy taxes. And in some states, like some counties down in the south, you can even be on the water commission. So it sounds to me like just throw in whoever wants to stay on the air board in that mix. But right now, in reality, we finally found out that there were, of the 5 people on the air board, 3 of them were illegal because we were taxing. The Conservation District, Danville Area Community College, and the city of Danville all had to reappoint commissioners, and we all had to resign. So it wasn't them just picking on old Steve Foster, although it felt like it at times, because John Meyer, which is our current chairman of the airport board, was the first to resign because he was also chairman of the Conservation District. The second to resign was myself. I gave Mayor Eisenhower a resignation at the end of the year. Now, this is important to you because our investigation showed that they could charge me and any alderman only, you see, with a class 4 felony. So when I went to our insurance policies called OEM errors and omissions for both the airport and the city, and you need to know this, they would not cover any felony charges. So I was out on my own. That and the value of my home and God knows what else if I was to lose in court. And so not being able to defend myself without a great expense, I just resigned, and I sent the letter, I think, the next day to Mayor Eisenhower, and so I'm off. Okay. Now, that may or may not be changed. That doesn't matter, but I just want to tell you. So 3 of the 5 people were new appointees, and then when John Meyer finished his term with the county, then he was able to, and eligible to be appointed to the air board, and the county chairman, Mr. Bond, did reappoint him to the air board, as did the mayor of Danville reappoint me, because both of us were no longer felons. You know, I may look like one, but at least I'm not. And apparently they're not going to charge me for past crimes, whatever that is. But so when the airport's rules were changed in '46, the way that we collected taxes, and we might address it later, but the way we collected taxes to support the airport, which is its only income, and they need money to build hangars and do other things and to match federal grants for runways and parking areas and all these things that are involved in running an airport. We ended up taxing the townships that were next to or contingent with. So across Vermillion County are 11 of the 22 or 23 townships, and they run from the state line, which most of us are in, or Danville or some of the other townships, all the way out to the other border. But over the last 73 years, the 43 law was different from the 43 law, and in the last 73 years, farmers were eligible to apply for an exemption unless they were directly contingent, or if they formed an island where they were not taxed, you know, like a farm in the middle of people. That was anathema. So as it turned out, over the last 73 years, the total tax to the airport in our 11 townships is only 31% of the people. So 79% are not paying the taxes. So we're asking the court to revisit that, because if they did, for an example, my house, the appraised value is say 150,000. I think the assessed value is 50,000. You know how that works. So my tax for the whole year is only $13. It's not like it's crippling, you know. So if my tax was, if my house was $1 million, it would be 130. So it's not that bad. But not only that, we would lower the individual tax per persons if we add the proper people back on, because then our tax rate is at the maximum, and we could lower it from the maximum if we got kind of income needed for airport improvements and particularly industrial development. No, so last month, the mayor, Mr. Bond, came out and we discussed this problem, and we also discussed economic development. I'm chairman of economic development again for the airport, and the mayor, and they're on board for economic development, both the county and the city. So we have great plans for the airport. Some we can do with what we have, and some will require an investment in the airport outside of meeting current expenses. The airport's been very well managed as far as we never incurred any debt, and the only bonds we ever issued along paid off for some of the things, the match funds. So having said that, now currently the airport was open for business in 1948 by the time we got it built, and Pop Bowman Avenue was very active in getting that airport up. It's publicly owned now. It's called a public use. It's a general aviation airport in Vermillion County. It's 4 miles northeast of the city of Danville. And if none of you have been out there lately, you should come out and look. That things are really improving. We just inherited the tower from the feds, so we painted it, and we're going to have that. And it currently has a museum tour for the children. They can come out and go up the top of the tower. We're putting all the original equipment back into the radio. The terminal itself, which was Brit Airways, first it was Allegheny, then it was Brit that operated for Allegheny. When Brit Airways was here in the 50s, had a very successful operation. We flew O'Hare, Midway, Indianapolis, and everything. And so when I came to Danville as the manager of the fixed base operations, we call FBOs, which turned out to be Foster Aviation when I had to buy the company to keep my job. Basically, the FBO offered all kinds of services, air pilot equipment. We had a maintenance shop for aircraft. We had a flight school. We even had a 141 flight school, which is an advanced flight school. Foreign students could go to 141. And they also had charter services. And we flew originally to the Bahamas up in Canada, but we got ourselves down to just the U.S. because liability insurance just went out of sight. At any rate, so we offer that services. Now that the airport has they have a little charter service, but it's people that are off-base. But we do have two good businesses there. With crop dusting, which is a great interest to the farmer. He's full-time year-round. He has a big hangar on the north end. And also we have two part-time crop dusters. Also, when I was chairman, we voted for and decided to install 24/7 fuel pumps, aviation fuel for jet and 100 lowland. And now they can go into the airport 24/7. They can fuel up their airplanes, particularly helicopters. So a lot of people don't know. We have a great deal of organ pickup and organ transplants because of the ages of our people in the county of both ends. So it's virtually keeps us busy out there at night. And the pilots like it. The pilots have a lounge that they're staying overnight. They can rest there. They can sleep there. There's television in there. It has access to the runway. There's a code to get in, but every pilot in the world knows it. They don't know it. They're not a pilot. And then also, there is a weather service in there. 2 computers to get online and get the current weather. So it's really well established. But about this, Bill Britt and his family is going to be honored late this year. We have remodeled the old terminal and we set it back to what it looked like in the 1950s. It's really going to be a nice destination. And as it is now, we've been using it for wedding receptions. It used to be called Cloud 9. Now we just named it just Brilliant Airport, you know. But anyway, we're going to honor Bill Britt and his family coming up later this year. They're going to tour what we've done. So you can now go out there and rent if you're a club or an organization or family, you can go out and rent it. So the services are very good. Currently, the airport has over 2 miles of paved surfaces with 2 runways, one of which is over 6,000 foot long. That was brought up to that length about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. The taxiways and roadways all have lighting, and they have great nav systems here in Danville, navigational systems. The full service FBO provides Jet A and 100 low lead, as I told you. And also, we have at the airport, we have the Mike Manaboncourt's internationally recognized aircraft restoration shop. He's in 2 hangars there. It's a business where once he has won the best of show, like at Oshkosh, which is the big thing. He's also the winner of 12 Golden Wrench Awards, which are awarded internationally to people doing aircraft, particularly restoration. Right now, for the mayor and Bonnie took a tour of his operation. They got to see one of the only 109 Messerschmitt left in the world. We're restoring it completely. And so it's really something to look at and touch. You know, yes, it was a German aircraft, but let's face it, it's part of the history, our history. So there's a lot of good things going on all the time at the airport. They just formed a flight club. They bought an airplane. Members can fly the airplane they're going to buy. We have volunteer people that, well, they're not volunteer, but people that are, I'm a licensed flight instructor, instrument instructor, multi-engine mostly, but I would not go back instructing, but there's several people in the community that would be instructors. So I'm very interested in developing that, and that's being put together by Dr. Feasting. He's on that committee. He's done a fine job serving on airport as one of the mayor's appointees. The banquet call, as I said, is going to be open now to the public. You can take up to 125 people. This is the only commercial. Also, in my presentation, this year we'll be hosting Balloon Classic again. The date is, you might have want it right down, July 9th and 10th this year, July 9 and 10. You'll be able to see the control towers restorated. You might be able to take a tour of the hangar, not sure, but he offers tours. We do to the children. We're going to build a new cold storage this summer down the south end of the airport for our equipment. That will free up the last rentable hangar. It's a large one. We'd like to rent it. And if we build new hangars out there and do those kind of things, we can attract business. Like UPS, for an example, flies in every night now. We have freight in and out of Danville 24/7. It seems like they come in every morning and they go out every morning, and vice versa. And they're based there. Their twin-engine airplane is based there. They also are always looking for airport runway extension where they can build their own repair stations regionally. And if we extend our runway another 1,500, 1,800 feet, which we have room, and we can do that with the federal grant, then we get people like UPS. But right now we have a lot of low-hanging fruit out there, and we're going to try and develop it. So that's why we need to get this income thing settled so we know what kind of budget we're going to have to work on, so that we might really go back up there and really take a look at economic development, because where we are right now at the airport is the only acreage, it's 175.7 acres, that has city plumbing and sewage lines and all that is gone out there. It has all the electric and everything. And our new director of economic development, Jim, came out. He got the tour with the mayor and the rest of it. We showed him what we have going on here and the amount of land we have. We have to have over 800 some odd acres, of which more than 400 are, some of it are tillable right now, but could be converted industrial use. The main thing, Houston, the main thing I'm trying to make, and I may be going fast, but there'll be questions if you want, is I'm trying to show that the only place we can expand, because I don't think we have more than 30 acres anywhere else in town, that has service to it right now in Eastgate or Southgate. The only place we can really understand it's going to be in the great northeast, up there, the whole part of the county and the city. And we can expand up there, and we can start at the airport because we have 187 acres right now available. It's on their website, or will be put back up. They're rewriting their website. So the locations are also in an enterprise zone. Scott Eisenhower and Vicki worked hard to get the state to prove that, and so that attracts businesses on the airport. They are a state enterprise zone. They get some property tax abatement as well as other tax credits and exemptions to businesses located within the enterprise zone. You know, they get discounts and everything. So those details are available to anyone that's listening right now, that's thinking about going to Danville. We're ready for you. Also,
very good. Well, Mr. Foster, we thank you. We thank you for your report. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Foster this evening about the airport? He covered a lot of ground in a little bit of time.
I tried.